All right, Shalom Akim. Hey, Yahweh Shemal Shai, Brakathon to my dear brothers out there, you Lenin and sisters, worshiping Yahweh Shemal Shai in spirit and in truth. All praises to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, the bunch of the apostles over there, great millstone and peace and mercy to the elect. Another news, madness, prophecy, and encouragement. All right, and today is September 14th. All right, and, the first video I have queued up here is that one of the brothers, he sent this out of a woman basically arming herself in one of these countries, robbed the bank for the money, for her money that's in the bank. Peep it. This is actually put up by a channel called Hebrew Israelite Yahweh, and the editor put Isaiah 10:1, warn to them that decree unrighteous decrees and that right grievousness which they have prescribed. Haggai 1:6, you have sown much and bring in little. Ye eat, but you have not. Ye drink, but you are not filled with drink. Ye clothe you, but you are not warm. You earn wages, and he that earneth wages to put him in a bag will hold.
More common. In two separate incidents, hours apart, armed people enter banks demanding their own money. Lebanon is in crisis. For 3 years, people haven't been able to access their savings because of informal capital controls. Sally Hafiz is among them. Armed with a handgun, she was accompanied by activists who threatened bank employees before she was given $13,000 from her account.
In this country, this is the only way to get our money back. We didn't steal this money. We worked hard to earn it.
Sally says she needs the money to pay for her sister's cancer treatment. In a similar incident last month, an armed man named Bassam Sheikh Hassan held hostages at a bank for nearly 10 hours before receiving part of his trapped savings. He too said he needed money to pay for his father's hospital bill. Many others like Sally and Bassam, who are facing strict limits on withdrawals of foreign currency, gathered outside the bank after the incident.
So you brothers and you sisters see it. You see it, man. You can continue watching the video. It's called Economic Crisis, Armed Woman and Activists Hold Up a Bank. So this took place over there in Lebanon, okay? You see how them people are angry. And that same anger is going to be on all the citizens of the world, all the people of the world, all the people of America, because that's what your elites of your society is going to drive you to. It's called order out of chaos, a Latin phrase that they came up with. All right. So you see that around the world that just the economic just cycling of the world is falling. You have these people over there in Lebanon, hours apart, holding up banks, you know, holding up banks, different periods of time. There is activists with them and getting their money, and they're saying because they need to handle their business as far as sick family members, you know, helping out themselves, and they angry over there holding up banks. This is second. Second Esdras 15 and 15, it says, for the sword and the destruction draweth nigh, and one people should stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hand. And it says, for there should be sedition among men and invading one another. They should not regard their kings or princes, and the course of their actions should stand in their power. So we're seeing a little glimpse of that just off of this video. The people are rising up against the government. People are fighting one against another. And this is going to take place in the United States of America and all around the world when people start realizing their bank, all the money in the bank is froze, their assets are frozen, and, you know, all this chaotic stuff that's taking place. They're going to go mad, man. They're going to pull out them guns, like the scriptures say. They're going to have them swords. So, yeah, man, you see it's a lot going on. you could just add that to the arsenal of everything else that's going on, the natural disasters that's taking place, and everything. Matter of fact, check this out. I peeped this. Over there in New York, certain parts of New York, they woke up to flash floods.
Storm passed only through part of the city. A flash flood warning was in place for parts of Brooklyn, Queens, and Staten Island until 7:30 a.m.
Oh my God.
Authorities have warned people not to drive on flooded roads and to climb higher ground if necessary. An overnight storm led to the suspension of subway traffic in Brooklyn. The flood also closed several boulevards in Brooklyn and Queens. The Long Island Expressway was also affected, where water lifted manhole covers and flooded the road. The highway was also flooded near Maurice Avenue, Grand Central Parkway, and the Van Wyck Expressway. Firefighters made several rescues and were able to push most of the vehicles.
You know, you brothers see it. You know, just flash floods are taking place all over just United States, period. You know, not just New York, but over here in California and different other states and all around the world, Pakistan, France. You know, just flash floods. And this is 2 Esdras 9 and 2. We always go here. It says, then shalt thou understand that this is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there are seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou understand that the Most High spoke of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. So, you know, it just happening back to back. Things are taking place back to back. The Heavenly Father is showing that he's making it happen for us, man. You know, the kingdom is being destroyed by natural disasters. People are getting pushed on the edge, and it's just going to continue to increase, man. It's going to continue to increase. Now, peep this. I have found this. This is a testimony about, I guess, a guy. He may have been an ex-pastor. You know, I just had seen it, and I thought it was good to report on it. But he basically explained, you know, how the Christian church is dealing with that witchcraft. All right. And whether if this guy is lying about his story or testimony or not, it really doesn't matter, because this is what he's finna explain. It really goes on in the church amongst, to become a pastor, you got to be a mason. You got to worship Satan. Now peep this. It says, I experienced Baphomet the goat at church. I'm not really sure this. Let's do it again. Something happened.
Once you've experienced something yourself, you don't care if people think you're crazy. I experienced Baphomet at church. Started preaching at 18. By 19, I was told I was the senior pastor. I noticed I got all of the responsibility, I got all of the blame, but I had no rights, I had no ability to affect change. I was just a puppet. From 19 to 22, I went through pure hell. Then when I was 22, we had a meeting, and the gist of the meeting is to disqualify all the males in the church. I was young, so I didn't realize what was happening. I was experiencing the spirit of Athaliah in real time. Eventually, 22 years old, I said, I quit. I can't do it anymore. The founder of the church looked at me, and this is when it happened. He said, son, when I was a mason, someone would come in and be a inner apprentice, then a fellow craftsman. And when it was time to get his third degree, he had to ride the goat. And when a young man, he didn't want to go through what he had to go through to get his third degree, we had to make him ride the goat because he knew too many of our secrets. That's when the leader said to me, son, you got to ride the goat. What I should have said was, this is a church and not a Masonic lodge. and Jesus separated the sheep from the goat. But because I didn't understand word curses at the time, I said, okay. After that, church services looked crazy to me. I would preach and people would dance and shout and speak in tongues and roll on the floor. And I would go sit down while they was in the middle of the service dancing and just say to myself, what are they doing? What are we doing? My mind was slipping. Next thing you know, I started acting out. I started acting crazy. I cut out on my wife. I destroyed my family. I cut out on my marriage. It was horrible. I didn't understand what was happening. I was spiraling and going all kinds of directions. Eventually, I said, man, I give up. I'm going to just show everybody what this really is. I'm going to let everybody know, hey, if you want a demon, I'm going to show you a demon. But God, in his infinite grace, God, in his great mercy, cut through everything I was experiencing through those years and said, Ray, you still have a soul. And when I heard that voice cut through in my heart, I was delivered from a life of debauchery. Be careful with your souls. A lot of you think that stuff is only over there in entertainment. It's right there in the churches too. People who's supposed to be over you and speaking life into you can be the ones that releases word curses into your life. Be careful, your soul is precious.
Your brothers and sisters was peeping his little testimony, and at the end he said he was thankful that the Lord got him out of that life of debauchery, because that's exactly what the Negro church is, the Latino church. It's just a party of debauchery, a life of debauchery. That's all it is, because in the churches you're not really worshiping the God of the Bible. You have this cloak like you're worshiping the God of the Bible, but really you're doing what you want to do. You know what I mean? And that's why he's explaining to you that, look, in order to become that pastor, you have to become a Mason. You have to become a Mason in order to become a pastor. And the churches are under a tax charter that's under a tax charter, the 501c3 tax charter. That's what they're under. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay? Which is government regulations on the church. They only can teach what the government allow them. And to become a pastor, you moving up in levels of masonry, as he explaining. And he said when he was young, he didn't understand it. But he became a leader in just a year. He became the head pastor in a year. He said it led him to mess his whole little the marriage he had up with his woman. And I'm pretty sure why. It's because he was dealing with other chicks. He was dealing with all the chicks in the church. Getting money, living it up, debauchery. He was living debauchery, and that's what we try to explain to you, Jakes out there. Look, that church is no good, man. It's no good, from the pastor to the fine woman walking around. It's all about debauchery. It's all about self-worship, and it's all governed under the Edomite rulership government. All right, the United States government. This is Isaiah 9:16. It says, "For the leaders of this people cause them to err, and they that are led of them are destroyed." You see? All right, and those churches, those leaders in your churches, they're gonna lead you to death. They're gonna lead you to death. They're gonna lead you right to death. Listen to what this dude.
It said, Ray, you still have a soul. And when I heard that voice cut through in my heart, I was delivered from a life of debauchery. Be careful with your souls. A lot of you think that stuff is only over there in entertainment. It's right there in the churches too.
You heard what he said? A lot of y'all think it's just an entertainment. That debaucherous life of people worshiping Satan and getting money and all that. Nah, man, your church pastors is doing the same thing, just like he explaining. And if he really did, he ain't in the truth, but the Most High does have mercy on certain people they say, for instance, they get stuck on drugs. The Heavenly Father may have enough mercy. he doesn't show them the truth, but he'll take the demon off them and they get off drugs. Or even in this guy's case, the Lord probably really did take him out of, you know, being that debaucherous man in robbing a church the way he was. He probably really got the demon off him, you know what I mean? But he still ain't in the truth though. You know what I'm saying? We even have an example of that with Legion. The Lord cast all the demons out of Legion, but he told Legion that he couldn't follow him, you know? But this is Matthew 15:14. It says, let them alone. They be blind leaders of the blind, and if the blind shall lead the blind, they both shall fall into a ditch. So all them people in that church that's not going to come to the truth of the God of the Bible, they're going to be led all into a ditch. You know, so I thought that was pretty crazy because, hey, you got to become a Mason. And that should trigger Jake to get the freak out of there, man. But see, Jake want to party. Like they had the video where dude opened the door up. It was a church, but it looked like the inside of a club, man. It looked like the inside of an Atlanta club. You know what I mean? Madness. But, man, let me see. Last little thing I had here was, man, I see this and I was like, man, look at this madness. Look at Esau, fucking weird ass. This dude's a weirdo, man. Look at this dude. Dude eating the mud off of the shoe, man. Wow. You know? Wow. I got two scriptures. Let's go to Habakkuk real quick. Let me see. Habakkuk chapter 2. Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 4. It says, behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by faith. You know, and that shows you that, and that's talking about Esau, Edom, the self-proclaimed white man. His soul ain't right. Look at this dude. You know? And these are the guys who they rule over us, or they rule over us. And what he's doing right here is nothing compared to what the elites of the society is really doing. The way they drink human blood and all this extra, you know, hydrochrome. I forget what it's called, but you know what I mean. They do far worse things. But this is the Edomites. This is the one that rule over us, and this is what we have to deal with, man. This is Isaiah chapter 3, verse 12. It says, as for my people, children are their oppressors. This is a child ruling over us. This Edomite is a child, a big, bad, evil child, man. You know? Like that one song, it's my party, I could cry if I want to, cry if I want to. That from the movie The Problem Child, man. It's just an evil Edom, just a little evil Edomite, man. And he's the one that's ruling us, and that's why the world is just in a terrible state it is, and us Israelites, we're just oppressed. Because children are oppressors, it says, and women rule over them. O my people, they which lead thee cause thee to err, and destroy the way of thy paths. And this guy is a part of, he's the main dude destroying our paths. And I don't understand it, man. Goddamn. You know, but yeah, hey, brothers, hey. Y'all been trying to shout about Kadam. That's all I have for today. You brother and you sisters out there, stay strong. To the next time, Shalom, Makim Step. Watch and pray. Shalom.